Unique New York. Unique New York. The arsonist has webbed feet. What is up, Watch fam? Happy Monday and welcome to RANT&H. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we're going to be, doing the third part of our, mini series within RANT&H, best everyday watches, but this time under $5,000. Let's do it. But first, a wristwatch check. I am wearing an absolutely beautiful Rolex reference 1601, which means it's a Datejust with a fluted bezel. This is a two-tone model with a wide boy dial and matching hands. Not something I come across very often. In fact, it's quite a rare. Wide boy dials are rare. Two-tone wide boy dials are, I think, even more rare. I think I've only owned one other one of these, mind you, in like 29 months of buying and selling Rolexes. So for me, this is a very geeky moment. This is very, very cool for me. I might be the only one, but still. This watch will be for sale tomorrow over at theoandharris.com in the watch shop. So don't forget to check out the watch shop, but the tomorrow's episode of In the Metal, we're going to dive into this and 5 other watches from Zodiac, more Rolex and Omega and a bunch of stuff. So stay tuned. But let's get into today's episode. Okay, like I said, this is the third part of the series. First, we did best everyday watches under $500. Then we did best everyday watches under $1,000. We picked a watch from Hamilton first. Then we went into kind of a split between a watch from Seiko and a watch from Stowa. But today, we're going to be talking about the $5,000 price range, which is a funny price range. I view $5,000 as a lot of money. In the watch industry, it's not viewed as like a lot of money. I think that's, not to go on a tangent, it's part of the reason why there's such, bad sales, because they have no respect for money. But still, it gets you into the world, but it doesn't get you all that much throughout the entire kind of market. So this is pretty challenging. We have to look for something that's, below $5,000 that really packs a lot of punch. So let's do it. But first, I want to define everyday watch. I've done this in every episode, and I want to do it again just for the new viewers here. An everyday watch is, as I view it, a watch that the normal person who does both dress up and down on a regular basis could wear in both contexts. This is not for the construction worker who only needs a G-Shock. This is not for the tuxedo wearer that only wears ultra slim Patek Philippe's. This is for someone that needs to do both things. Maybe like the guy who has a job where he needs to dress formally, but is also like a weekend warrior. The kind of guy that wants to go out for beers, not even think about it, be able to change a strap, and it just be like that. So that's the concept here. So let's do it. The first watch I want to bring up that brings a lot of value. It's not a watch really at all. It's a brand. I think that the pre-owned Panerai market represents a lot of value. Not only are you getting a brand that is pretty damn well respected, and oddly enough, like more and more every year. They went through a funk there where they were catching a lot of garbage, but Panerai, I think at least, is picking their game up. Every kind of time we turn around, they introduce something else that's really, pretty damn impressive. But that, impressive kind of action has not really impacted the secondary market all too much, at least as I see it. And I don't sell Panerais. I would, but I just haven't. So I'm not going to go ahead and name references and list, numbers for prices. But if you do go and look anywhere on the web, whether that's just a Google search or you go on Chrono24 or, God forbid, eBay, you will find Panerai references and models and everything from blue dials and white dials to radiometers and luminors to blacked out watches. There's an incredible array of the pre-owned Panerai that you can get between like $300 and $4,200 or $4,500. And that definitely falls within that range. I'm not going to recommend a particular Panerai because, although there are certain ones that I wouldn't probably touch, there's a lot out there that I'd really like you to take a look at, if that's your thing. For a lot of people, it's definitely not, but I can definitely see viewers, some of you guys out there, not even realizing that a Panerai is, within your budget. So yes, I do think many of their models do represent value under $5,000, but I don't think that they are the perfect everyday wearers. Some might, teeter on that side better than others. I think that some radiometers might, but overall, the watches that I'm talking about are a little bit, hard, at least in my opinion, to pair with the suits, to pair, a little bit more formally. I know plenty of people that do it. They look great sometimes, but still, it's not exactly what I'm looking for today. So I'm going to pass on the Panerai and continue my search for the best everyday watch, which now brings me to Seiko. The particular reference I'm talking about is and I will read it, SBGH001. From top to bottom, this is a watch that should not surprise you that I love. You can find them in that $4,000 range, plus or minus a couple of bucks, but I really think they pack a ton of punch. They come in at 40 millimeters. Their design is totally classic. It's basically pulled straight from the 1960s, Grand Seiko or King Seiko line. That heritage is totally respected, until today. They enhance the size by, I think, 2 or maybe even 4 millimeters from the vintage models, but that doesn't bother me an inch. And if you look at the movements, they're incredible. I hate doing this because it sounds like I don't like Rolex, but if you look at, $7,000 or $8,000 Rolexes, you can't compare it, as far as movement to the in-house Seiko high beat, incredibly finished and decorated movement here. They're just not comparable. Of course, the Rolex has plenty of other things going for it that the Seiko may not. But in this, movement world, and I think that it's a huge asset that there's a sapphire case back, but in that movement world, there's a lot to be had, there's a lot to be respected in this watch. Ultimately, I love that it's from Seiko, one of the most well-respected brands in the world with incredible infrastructure. I love that obviously it's an in-house developed movement. I love that it's one of the few high beats out there. I love the decoration, and because I'm an aesthetic guy, I do love how they've been able to truly respect their original designs of these watches. So this watch gets a huge thumbs up from me. But the only reason I am actually not going to pick this watch for the best everyday watch under $5,000 is because it's a Seiko. And before you hang me, please let me explain. Although many of you and I agree that this watch just kicks the ass of so many other watches in this price range, and frankly, even $2,000 above its price range, I still would like to end my search with a recommendation that is a little bit more mass market. Whether we like it or not, Seiko has recognized that they have a marketing problem. They recognize that the name Seiko, although it does represent to people in the know serious quality, is by and large kind of associated with, affordable, watches, affordable quartz watches particularly. So for that reason, just a little bit of a marketing dilemma, I'm going to have to pass. Because I do understand that at $4,000, many consumers, probably the vast, vast majority of consumers, they also want a brand that they can be proud of and a brand that's going to be very charming to the public. And as unfortunate as that may be, I think it is a reality. So my hunt continues. After a little bit more research and digging and a lot of kind of reflective kind of contemplation, I think I'm going to settle on a tie between two watches, both watches that I love very much. The first is the Nomos World Timer. It's in the Zurich line. I know it's technically not a world timer. I believe it's technically a GMT, but they refer to it as the World Timer, and it does tell the time all around the world with a click of a button. So for the sake of simplicity, I will continue to refer to it as the World Timer. Now before I get into the watch, I know kind of, what some of you guys are thinking out there, how is it that Nomos, a brand that most people have never even heard of, fixes the problem that you presented about Seiko. That I mentioned that Seiko is a brand that, doesn't really scream, money. I just dropped $4,000. And you're right. No, Nomos doesn't scream that either. But their benefit here is the name Nomos is a clean slate to most people. It means very little. It means nothing. It means kind of obscurity. It means the owner of it can kind of explain to me what it means. Whereas Seiko, the dots are already filled in. So although the differences are small, I think they are very meaningful. Beyond that, looking into the actual watch, it's incredibly well manufactured. If you've ever held one, which I have, I think it's hard to not be impressed, particularly with the blue dial. Not only is it beautiful, but if you flip it over and take a look at the automatic movement within, you'd be really, really impressed. Nomos truly did bring finishing that I think is above the price point, or maybe exactly dead on to the price point to the watch. They didn't just bring a barren complication. They really did bring kind of a full picture watch. Now, the watch does retail over $5,000. In fact, it retails over $6,000, but I have seen these watches for sale at $5,000 and actually below, somewhere between $4,200 and $5,000. So this watch is in fact attainable below $5,000. The one disclaimer I will give to my watch geeks out there with a little bit smaller wrists, the watch is a little bit big and a little bit thick. I couldn't wear it. I really, really wanted the watch, but I personally was uncomfortable with the size of it. Beyond the size, which I probably view as the only slight drawback, this is a tremendous watch and to me, a layup to include in best everyday watch under $5,000. But the watch it holds the tie with is a watch that you can find for a significantly smaller amount of money in that $3,000 range. It's my favorite watch of all time. It is the Rolex Datejust. Now, whether that's a reference 1601, a 1603, a 1603 or a 16014, whatever it may be, quickset or not, they still represent, in my opinion, the same value. You're talking about an incredibly important watch if you look back into, watch history. You're talking about a watch that has not only earned its spot, you're talking about a watch that has not only earned its spot, being one of, probably the most recognizable watches of all time, but a watch that when you hold it, the reasons are obvious. I have one on right now, as I so often do, and I am constantly reminded of not only the proportions of the watch and what is, in my opinion, a very classic design that balances, formality and informality really well, but a construction that is basically second to none. I wear these regularly. I have sold dozens of them. I mean, we're probably reaching over 100 Datejust, and that's for good reason. I love Rolex. So does everybody else. That's not news. But so often have these watches just become completely unattainable. Small variations in Submariners could account for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Whereas in the Datejust world, you can get big variations. You can get real rarities. You can get, real difference for a couple $100. A small premium, a premium that really means nothing in the Rolex world. So yes, for its significance, for its quality of construction, to its ridiculous versatility, I am in love with the Rolex Datejust. And the fact that it falls considerably below my $5,000 mark as best everyday watch, I view it as, and to call it anything but incredibly attractive or call it anything but a layup, would be ridiculous. So those are my two picks, guys, for very different reasons, but I think they both deserve a spot at the top. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of RANT&H. If you liked it, if you agreed with me, please like this video. If you disagreed with me, you will also, or you can also, not you will, not in order, go ahead and like this video. I'm all open to disagreement. Explain yourself in the comments, and I'd be happy to debate you back and forth. That's it, guys. Have an awesome day. I will see you tomorrow.